Hi everyone, it's me again. On this week's episode of Fuel the Fire Friday, the theme is no more excuses. Now, before anyone thinks that I'm too hard on them, just remember the reason I know so much about excuses is because I'm the queen of making them. I've been making excuses not to exercise since elementary school, and I've been making excuses not to eat healthy since I was around 19 years old. So I have, at least 30 years of experience in making excuses not to take care of myself. In fact, I've been thinking back over the past, and I'm really amazed and a little ashamed at all the excuses I've made. When it came to regular exercise, I had so many excuses. I would say, "Oh, I have bad knees." And in truth, my knees did give me problems. But you know what? It was nothing that a patella strap and the loss of a few pounds and maybe a little bit of strengthening of some muscles wouldn't remedy. The fact is, unless a person is paralyzed from the neck down, there's some form of exercise that they're capable of doing. Well, I can't afford a gym membership. Well, that's true, but for years, I had exercise videos that just laid around the house. And besides that, calisthenics are free, and so is walking. And when it came to walking, I was really good at making excuses for that too. In the wintertime, it was too cold. In the summertime, it was too hot. In the spring, it was too wet. And in the fall, it was too windy. But I guarantee you that the weather never stopped me from going out to my car and driving down to McDonald's when I wanted to. I injured my foot and ankle so bad. It hurts. And that one was true. And for a time, it really was a legitimate reason not to walk or do weight-bearing activities. But seriously, how did a twisted ankle stop me from working my upper body or my abs? I favored that ankle for so long that I let it get weak and stiff, and I delayed the healing. If you have some kind of injury, and you've gone to the doctor and the doctor tells you that it should take about 6 weeks to get better, and then 6 weeks later it doesn't feel any better to you, go see the doctor again. Go have some physical therapy. Don't let it become a permanent excuse from life. Then there was the, "Oh, I'm too busy" excuse. I was too busy to exercise, but somehow I found the time to chat on Facebook and to watch my favorite TV shows. Now seriously, the 30-day shred video, this one here, I'm sure you've seen it. It's sold at Walmart, places like that. It only takes 20 minutes to do the workout. And the Spark People website has videos on there that only take 10 minutes and they're free. Now if I go put dinner in the oven, it's going to take at least 20 or 30 minutes to cook. That's enough time to do some calisthenics, to take a short walk around my driveway right out in front of my house, to do something. I think in general, people find a way to make time for what's really a priority for them. It wasn't until I made my health a priority that I finally found time to take care of it. And I was just as good at making excuses for my unhealthy eating as I was for exercise. I would say, "I can't stick to a diet. My husband eats all the time. He makes high-calorie choices. He eats so much. How can I diet when he's around?" There was an element of truth to that, because my husband has a super high metabolism, so he needs to eat a lot and he needs to eat often. And sometimes he picks high-calorie things because that's what his body really needs. And then, of course, other times, like everyone, he picks junk food because that's what he wants. But you know what? Never in our marriage has he ever pried my mouth open and shoved chocolate or cake inside. I finally realized that just because he's eating doesn't mean I have to. "Oh, but my budget's so limiting. I can't eat healthy." Well, that too has an element of truth to it, because if you go to the store and make some comparisons, you'll see that junk food is a lot cheaper than a lot of the healthier options. But that's not really a valid reason to gain weight. It's not a valid reason not to take care of your health, because there are budget-friendly options that are healthy. Dried beans and lentils are high in fiber and low in fat and high in protein. They're very healthy and they're cheap. So is rice. Even brown rice is cheap when you compare it to fast food. And even when there is no excuse, but or no choice, but to eat like pasta or something, I can still measure it out really carefully, and I can stay in my calorie limit. It's really not a reason. It's just a stupid excuse. Of course, every holiday, every single special event was an excuse to wait until next week. Then the next week would come and I would forget to start again. And by the time I remembered, another event was around the corner, so I would decide, well, I'll just wait until after that one. It really would have done me some good to say to myself, you know what, Vicki, Christmas is one day a year. It's not a reason to eat like a pig through the whole month of December. And even if I had added in all of our family birthdays and all the special events that take place in December, that only would give me 5 or 6 days where my excuses really made any sense at all, not 31 days. But even those 5 or 6 days shouldn't have been used as an excuse to eat whatever I wanted in whatever quantity I wanted. Oh, and you know what? Perhaps the lamest excuse I ever said to myself was, oh, what's the point? I already blew it. I might as well enjoy it and eat all I can before I go back on my diet tomorrow. That excuse is so stupid. As if eating one piece of chocolate somehow gives me a free pass to eat the entire box, then go out to McDonald's afterwards, eat a value meal with one of their triple thick milkshakes so that, I can have one before I go back on my diet, and then I won't be able to have one again for a while. It's dumb. It's stupid. And sometimes my excuses weren't spoken or put into words. They weren't even really clearly thought out to myself. Some of them were so silly that if I'd actually put words to them, I'd have seen right through them. So I didn't put them to words. I just acted on the impulse that the excuse created. But if I had put them to words, they would have sounded something like this. Oh, that person hurt my feelings. I have a right to comfort myself. Really? Eating a box of donuts is going to make my emotions feel better when someone's been mean to me? How? Will that person's words be any less stinging because I've made myself sick? Oh, no one appreciates my efforts anyway, so I might as well just stop trying. Well, who am I doing this for anyway? If I'm doing this for other people, that excuse actually is kind of valid. But that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to glorify God and to please Him, and I'm doing this for me so I can enjoy the benefits of a healthier body. Now, if those are my reasons, then why does anyone else's appreciation or lack of appreciation have any bearing at all on whether I do it or not? Well, the fact is it doesn't. It has no bearing on it. And that's just another lame excuse. Oh, that person over there always sabotages my efforts. I just give up. Really? Unless the person is prying my jaw open and shoving the food in, I can still say no. And if it looks like their feelings are getting hurt because I'm saying no, I can try to diffuse the situation by making a joke. Like maybe, oh no, I can't eat brownies. I guess I'm allergic to them because every time I eat them, my whole body breaks out into fat. Okay, it was a little more than 7 weeks ago when I finally decided to stop making excuses and to stop accepting the excuses that I automatically think of without trying. It was a little more than 7 weeks ago that I decided that I was worth whatever effort it took. And since that time, I've lost about 23 pounds. And as long as I keep refusing to accept excuses, those pounds are gone for good. So what about you? What excuses have you been making? Now really, truly examine them. Just like my excuses, they probably have some element of truth to them, but that doesn't make them valid. Spend your energy and time finding solutions and coming up with answers instead of coming up with excuses. Start looking for opportunities to exercise instead of excuses not to. A perfect example of this happened in my own life just this last week. I went to my church's Wednesday night potluck and Bible study. I brought my own dinner so that I wouldn't even have to look at all the potluck food and I could just stay on plan. And after I ate my dinner, I found that I had 25 minutes left before Bible study started. Before, I would have either gone searching for something else to eat, or I would have just sat down in the chair and waited. This time, though, I power walked the 1.5 miles around the block and back to the church and slid into my seat just as the worship portion of Bible study was beginning. That's what I'm talking about. Look for those opportunities. Every time you have a short block of free time in your day, it's an opportunity to get your body moving and burn some calories. So stop looking for excuses and instead start really looking for those opportunities so you don't just let them pass you by. I found this quote from the comic Don Wilder. He said, "Excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure." You know, that's so true. If you're willing to accept an excuse from doing what you know you need to do, then what you're really doing is willing yourself to fail. So remember, no more excuses. Until next time, keep those fires burning.